Good afternoon, everyone. This is G331979 here. And the topic of this video is called "There Will Never Be a Race War," or known as racial revolution. There will never be one. And I'm going to explain why. It's too homicidal and too genocidal, and in a lot of cases too democidal in all parties to even partake in a fruitless war. It's bad enough we got a war called ethnic cleansing, where we at the Middle East now and parts of Africa as well as the Asia Minor destroying black, brown, and copper tone and olive skinned people. We are. There would be too much retaliation on white folks as it is if there would be a true racial war, or known as racial revolution. And your white men know that you're not replacing your numbers. So I'm getting tired hearing this so-called racial war rhetoric out of your goddamn mouths. You need to shut the fuck up with that. You need to be quiet with that nonsense. It's just bullshit when you keep saying that. Nobody's not into that shit. Stop acting like you part of storefront. Even storefront is full of shit. These are a bunch of idiots that they recruit. I remember the late great Bill Cooper exposed at the time a neo-Nazi racist of how pathetic he was. And he's right. They will recruit drug addicts. Dope fiends, basically. Predominantly drug addicted, alcohol addicted, white males. They know they can't recruit a sane, logical white male. For the simple fact that, for the most part, they won't follow on to that shit. But that's another topic for another time. So they get the weaker ones first, and that's who they recruit. And like I said plenty of times before, white people culturally were forcibly indoctrinated to collectivism. Therefore, they possess no individual traits. They don't. They see what one particular group of people do culturally, and they try to mimic that. So when they get like these bunch of weak, minstrel, drug-infested, alcoholic, addicted, polluted mind white men, and recruit them into their white hate group, white supremacist hate groups, I should say. And it's kind of ironic that most of them will fuck mainly the scraps of black women, Hispanic women, and Asian women. They fuck the bottom that they literally, these pitiful, I won't either waste my time calling them white trash. I call them peasants. Fuck the bottom of the barrel. They won't waste their time fuck good stock because they not good stock themselves. Like I said before, being a white man is basically a status. White is a status, black is a status. Most people don't know that. It's intriguing why people they don't understand this shit. They They refuse to go into, like, try to look this shit up, try to figure this out. I know someone gonna say, could you give me keywords to look this up? No, I'm not doing that. And I'm not making a reply video on that. Already basically ban the individual and avoid talking to him for bringing up that silly ass rhetoric. People are fucking surreal what they bullshit think. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it because I'm speaking for experience here. So, experience wins at the end of the day, people. Get over it, get used to it. This is what happens when the common whites are too damn scared to bring up the topic. So what they do, they show one little vid of a group of blacks jumping one white guy. And they do. Me personally don't like seeing anyone getting jumped. What about the lazy ass Jew Nazi groups nearly killing every non-white group in this country? Nobody can answer that damn question. I'll tell you that right now. Now, let me repeat that again. What about the lazy ass Jew Nazi groups nearly killing every non-white group in this country for years? Nobody can answer that shit. But they see one white guy get jumped in the video, and it's automatically black on white crime. Knowing that that's assault. There's no such thing black on white crime. I keep telling people crime is a fucking commercial. They're like, this is a race war. Just like the Alex Jones do go too far with the race baiting, which that's another fucking idiot I tell people to stop watching. Because of the inner white guilt. Instead of talking about unity and trying to come up with a solutions to solve the divide and conquer, which nobody don't want to talk about that. Then when you try to bring up issues like this, it's all about what this everything is much more deeper than that. No shit, but it always ties into racism. You are a fucking colonist living in stolen land. You should not be complaining and crying about immigration. You should not be complaining and crying about these fake ass statistics. Or white on white crime, or black on white crime, or white on black crime. Nonsense. That rhetoric gotta stop. One thing whites need to learn is that they can go home to their white neighborhoods and communities. They don't have to see an ounce of non-whites living and relax because of their separation instead of unification. With all the communities, non-whites, that's blacks, Latinos, Middle Easterns, Asians, to name a few, have to tolerate whites every day in our neighborhoods, in our communities, our jobs, etc. We don't have a break like they do. And I'm not a racist whatsoever. Because non-whites can't be racist. We can't. I'm telling the truth, and the truth hurts, and it does, man. It really fucking hurts. I'm all for and game for unity. The problem is that whites talk about it, but don't want to be about it at all. The way, and that's why they try to act like black, Latino, Asia, etc. And that's true. You guys, I said this in a few videos back, I think over a week ago. You got a lot of you guys that do like to boast and brag about how you like to infiltrate other ethnic groups and try to be like them and then take possession of their culture, which is pretty fucking amazing. 10, 15 years ago, whites that had the balls to even boast like that, they would be biting their nails to even think like that. We, on the other hand, have a problem by letting it build up and not saying something about it. And that's what happened after the civil rights. We let that shit build up, man. All communities need to learn how to come together and put a stop to this. It's not the politician's job to stop this, nor is not the law regulations to put a stop to it either. It's the people's job to do something. It wasn't called the United States for a reason, people. So we need to unite. Right? Why we keep living a separate society? Why they keep relating to blacks only live in the cities? Why they keep saying black, brown, and yellow and red-skinned people live in fucking inner cities where whites are only put to live in the suburbs in the world-class areas? They want to create a separate race war. And when I made my video where I believe in separation for bigot whites, did I include every single white person there? No. I think we need to take a fucking break because guess what? There's too many inconsistencies. It's a one-sided deal. It is. I give you this one. This one, you can take this to your memory banks for the rest of your life. An effective racism. This is a poor non-blacks with ability to affect the living or social conditions for any group of people, usually reduced to name calling but are inconsequential to the everyday life of the people that they feel are inferior. An effective racism, the powerful well-to-do non-blacks who have the ability to effectively deprive a group of resources based on race. Like I said, let me repeat that shit again. An effective racism. This is the poor non-blacks with no ability to affect the living or social conditions of any group of people, usually reduced to name calling, but are inconsequential to the everyday life of the people that they feel inferior. And of course, the effective racism, the powerful, well-to-do non-blacks who have the ability to effectively deprive a group of resources based on race. So you guys gotta know these definitions, man. You gotta recognize them for what it really is. Matter of fact, I'll give you another one. Reverse racism is a myth. The suffix ism means a distinctive practice, system, or philosophy, typically a political ideology or an artistic movement. That's all it really is. Black people collectively do not have the power and resources to disenfranchise a group based on race. We do not. And if I hear one more unintelligent white person say that anybody could be racist, I'm going to fucking lose my mind on that son of a bitch. We don't. Let me repeat that again since you think you know everything. The suffix of racism means a distinctive practice, system, or philosophy, typically a political ideology or a artistic movement. That's like I said, reverse racism is a myth. Black people collectively do not have the power and the resources to disenfranchise a group based on race. We do not. Silly white man tricks are for kids. Which means that black people will have some ineffective racism. Name calling isn't racist, people. That would be considered bigotry or prejudice, which is a natural human condition. But see, people can't tell the difference between bigotry and prejudice versus racism. Name calling don't have nothing to do with that. And to be a racist, which means you are a single individual, a part of the system that is in place by the dominant group. Let me say that again so it could rest in your brains for the rest of your life. And to be a racist, which means you are a single individual, a part of the system that is in place by the dominant group. Hope you folks get it. I hope you folks get it. There will never be a racial war. I bet my dollar that white supremacy will dwindle down to its former self and phase out of existence before there will ever be a racial war or a racial revolution. There will never be a race war or a racial revolution. People need to stop believing that bullshit. Reverse racism is a term used by racist people to let you know that normal racism is okay and they're preferring. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called reverse racism. Now, would it? Apartheid of poverty and approximately of influence by righteous anger is not racism. That requires power and numbers. Getting beat up a black man or a black person because you live in the hood is not the same as systematic oppression. No matter how much you want to flip it. And this is by Chester Malone III from Facebook. I gotta give him that. I gotta give a shout out to him on that. So, and I'm talking to the racist white folks, predominantly the racist white man, because like I said plenty of videos before, most women cannot be racist unless they led on by proxy. There's historic accounts, there's historic evidence of proving every day that virtually 90+% of white American women are not racist. Yes, anybody could be prejudiced, anybody could be a bigot. Yeah, I said it. Men build shit, not women. Just remember that. Now, by proxy, case in point, our indigenous sisters from both the black Aboriginals and the Asiatic Mongoloid Americans, both our sisters from, both phenotypes, yeah, a lot of them did, and they still are, by proxy, technically, a racist. Or they had the Bedouin-Stockholm syndrome to their white, racist male captive. I look at it this way. And matter of fact, if I go here and find this comment, where is this comment if I can find it. Because I gotta give this boy, this young man props. Okay, Frizzer77 said this made sense. There was a time not too long ago when black women had less bastard children than white women. That changed when the big booty bimbo bitch took welfare and accepted hick-ass feminism. Now that black men are improving the gene pool by impregnating white women, you white men still are not satisfied. Damn. We black men are supplying valuable dick and black sperm to white women so whites don't go extinct and you complain? Ingrates. That speaks by itself. Frizzer77. That's why I said they would not. You more likely get a temporary separation. You know, a temporary separation than you will ever get a true race war, or known as racial revolution. There will never be a race war nor a true racial revolution. And even though I made a video about why I believe in separation with racist, bigot whites, it's only going to be temporary. Because you got what he just said, basically, what he just said to this idiot Adolf Hitler. And shout out to Frizzer77. Basically, it's going to be genetic integration. Human beings always been doing that, and it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. That's how you keep the species alive. We doing you a favor. Just like how the Africans from West Africa, the Moors, did Europe a favor over a millennia ago. And for 831 years, now this is going back over 1600 years ago, kept Europe pretty much alive. Kept them alive. Like I said, there will never be a race war. They will never, or known as a racial revolution. You guys need to just get over that fucking sweet dream, Stormfront fantasy, and just either hang yourselves and call it a day, or shut the fuck up and move on. You see, when people like them, not saying all white men, but these particular fucking peasant ass garbage, these bigot ass racists like them, these chicken hearted motherfuckers, these yellow bellied cowards, whatever you call them, when they make complaints like that and say there will be a race war because they can't get fucking laid by their own women. That's why I said this in plenty of videos earlier during the summer this year. Why I don't get why white men in Midtown. You actually just dwindle your fucking numbers. Most of these white dudes that are in Midtown, most of them never had children, most of them never got married. I want to opt out from the system. I want to opt out for the system. Shut the fuck up. You made the fucking damn system. The system was made for you. Now you want to opt out? Bitch, that shit is too late. You already fucking screwed. Your Western women screw you over. It backfired. It backfired the moment it actually originated in Western Europe in 1890. And eventually it triggered its way to the United States by 1964. Within 5 years, a half a decade, North America in general collapsed. Never recover again to this very day. That's why we have so much socialism. And people don't understand that in order for you to get rid of socialism, you have to get rid of capitalism. If you get rid of socialism, you have to get rid of capitalism. If you get rid of capitalism, you have to get rid of socialism. See, that's a socialistic biblic as thinking when they say there's going to be a race war. Because only a socialist capitalist think like that. Now, I'm all for free market capitalism. You know, based on the natural economy, or kind of like the Venus Project, but that's a whole nother topic and another day. I had a lot of white friends at me in Facebook got mad at me, unfriended me because I brought that up. I'm like, well, you still making money. Actually, you make more money. Everybody be a millionaire. There's no need to have a financial competition. But that's another topic another time. Because that's what actually the civil rights sham did. Was basically, it de-industrialized not just black America, as well as it did de-industrialize white America. It was done at the exact same time. It de-industrialized the whole Americas throughout Canada, United States, Mexico, the Caribbean, as well as the Mesoamerica and South America. You don't believe me? Go look up the fucking history of it. Why it's so fucking de-industrialized to this day. It's so people don't realize how important and a death knell to human development and prosperity of civil rights globally was. It de-industrialized every fucking damn nation around the goddamn planet. They got people learning how to be docile spenders instead of learning how to be manufacturers and producers. That's the fucking problem. There won't be a race war. Because that take time and money. And people ain't gonna waste money on putting the money into a racial campaign and doing cleansing. Look what happened and what's going on in the Middle East. You got a lot of whites at home in the United States find that pretty fucking crazy and odd. They want motherfuckers to come home. They're always being reported and told by, you know, our fellow Islamic and Middle Eastern and Asian minded, you know, American immigrants that, hey, you guys are being terrorizing colonists, just like you did over here in the Americas. That's why they want the fucking troops to come home. Besides the obvious, that's the major reason why they want them to come home. Like I said before, I'm going to say it again. They will never, ever be a race war or known as racial revolution. This is GW31979 here, and I'm out. Stay tuned.